Hello Year 8. Here's your 5 a day and here are the answers to it. So here we can simplify the number parts. 5 over 15, they share a common factor of 5. So that simplifies to 1 over 3. I have a squared in my numerator and a in my denominator, so I can divide both of those by a. That leaves me with just an a in my numerator. I have a b in my numerator. I don't have any b's in my denominator, so I keep the b in the numerator. Then I have c in my numerator and c cubed in my denominator, so that simplifies to c squared in the denominator. Then I can just rewrite this. I don't need the 1 here, so that's just ab 3c squared. Pair of parallel lines. We show they're parallel by putting arrows on them. We need to have a transversal for there to be corresponding angles, and there's different ways you could put it, but I'm going to go for this one and this one. So they are both under a parallel line and on the right hand side of the transversal, so they are in corresponding place. To solve this equation, I'm going to start by expanding the brackets. Then I have 10x and 6x. I want to collect all of the x's on one side of the equation. The easiest way for me to do this is by subtracting the smallest amount of x's. The smallest amount of x's is 6x, so I subtract that from both sides. Now I've collected all of my x's on one side, I need to get rid of the things around it. To get rid of this 30, I subtract 30 from both sides. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And negative 30 over 4 simplifies to negative 15 over 2. If a number is increased by 25% and the result is 40, I have 1.25 times my original number equals 40. So to find what the original number is, it might be easier to write this as a fraction. 5 over 4 times my original number equals 40. So I can multiply both sides by 4 and divide by 5. Now let's double check. 25% of 32 is 8. Adding 8 onto 32 gives me 40, so I know I've got it correct. And converting a fraction to a decimal, I can divide using short division. I don't know how many zeros I'm going to need, so I'll just put a few in. 3 divided by 8 I can't do. 30 divided by 8 is 3, remainder 6. 60 divided by 8 is 7, remainder 4, and 40 divided by 8 is 5. So my answer is 0.375. So today we're going to have a recap on substitution, looking at how to substitute a value into an expression. To start off with, we're going to have a recap before the recap on negative number calculations. So have a look through each of these, just write down the answers. You don't need to write down the questions. Pause the video while you do that. Okay then, these are the answers you should have. If you don't have any of those and you're not sure how you went wrong, let me know and I can explain to you. So now we've practiced negative numbers, we can practice some substitution. So for So we're going on a picnic, and these are rules for how many of each of these different things that we need. We're going to find how many of each of them we need for 12 people on a picnic. Okay then, so this means that we're going to be substituting P equals 12 into these rules. So we start with the cups, write down the rule, substitute 12 in for P, and evaluate, which means work out what the answer is, find the value of. So we need 17 cups. Sandwiches equals 3P. Now remember, in algebra, when we have two things next to each other, there's a secret multiplication sign in between them. So when I substitute 12 in for P, I do not write this because that's 312 and that doesn't make any sense. I write 3 times 12 and then I evaluate that by finding the value of it. So I need 36 sandwiches. Number of rugs, P over 2. Remember that over is another way of writing divide. So I substitute 12 in for P. Over means divide, so I evaluate by finding the value of this, which is 6. And finally, number of bananas we need is P minus 12. Substitute 12 in for P and evaluate by finding the value of. Now, while it's not possible that we have negative 12 people, we can substitute negative numbers into rules. That's why we practiced some negative number calculations before. So let's have a look at what we would do here. Start by writing the rule. Substitute the value in. Put the negative 12 in brackets so you don't forget about the negative part. Then evaluate. Negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7. Write down the rule. Substitute negative 12 in, putting it in brackets so we don't forget about the negative sign. And evaluate. Write down the rule. Substitute the negative 12 into the rule and evaluate. Don't forget to write the negative 12 in brackets. Be careful, we've got a negative and we're subtracting. That's what we get. So that's what I want to see, a minimum of 3 steps. Writing down the rule, writing down the substitution, evaluating. So I'd like you to pause the video now while you do these questions on the screen. Let me know if you have any questions as you're working through. These are the answers. Pause the video while you mark your work. And then I'm going to have a go at this quiz. I will put the link to the quiz on the in the chat. I would like you to do as a minimum levels 1 and 2, and see how far you can go beyond that. As always, let me know if you have any questions or you would like me to go through any more examples. Thank you.